What's up everyone, it's Scotty with Money Investing. In this video, we are going to be talking about Palantir, ticker symbol PLTR, which reported their first quarter fiscal year 2023 earnings, and they were fantastic. Not only did they report net income on a GAAP adjusted basis, but they also guided for a profitable year, and they also raised their guidance for revenue on the entire fiscal year 2023 as well. So hope you guys enjoy this breakdown and the entire video on Palantir. Make sure that you drop a like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you're just joining us for the first time, the link to our Discord and Patreon is going to be down below. If you're interested in joining, there is a 16% annual discount until the end of this month. And as always, without further ado, let's get right into it. So this right here were the numbers. EPS coming in at 5 cents per share adjusted versus 4 cents expected by analysts. And revenue came in at $525 million versus $506 million for the company. Now, Palantir's revenue for the first quarter increased 18% year over year. Its U.S. commercial revenue was up 26%, and the company's overall commercial customer count was up 50% year over year to 155 customers now from 103 same time last year. And of course, net income on a GAAP basis was $17 million. And Alex Karp also mentioned the company expects to remain profitable each quarter through the end of the year, which is a big game changer for the company, because that's always been the big hurdle. That's been a hassle for Palantir to actually generate profitability, and now we're turning the corner. And that's exactly one of the reasons why I'm getting a little bit more optimistic, more excited about this company as we progress through 2023. And that's because of the fact that they are now becoming more efficient, more cost conscious about the way they're running their business. And as a result, they are getting that bottom line profitable. Now, Palantir marked its first ever quarter positive net income on a GAAP basis at $31 million last year and the last fourth quarter. So they mentioned that this is a significant moment for us and our supporters. And Palantir said it expects to report between $528 and $532 million in the second quarter, and for the entire year at just over $2.1 to $2.2 billion in revenue. They also launched a brand new artificial intelligence platform, or called AIP, and the demand for it, Alex Karp said, was, quote, without precedent. The company's AI platform allows commercial and government sectors to use large language models, LLMs, based on their own private data sets, and will be available to select customers this month. And he also said, and I quote, we have already had hundreds of conversations with potential customers about deploying the software and are currently negotiating terms and pricing for access to the components of the platform as well. So this right here were the numbers. Again, second consecutive quarter of GAAP net income and profitability, achieving GAAP operating profitability for the first time in company's history. GAAP operating margin of 1%, up 1,000 basis year over year. Cash was also at over $2.9 billion, so no use still made of the cash that's sitting on the balance sheet with literally no debt. We'll talk about that in just a minute. And revenue growing, U.S. revenue growing, U.S. commercial revenue growing, and U.S. commercial customer count, that's a mouthful, also growing on a year-over-year basis. So this right here is introducing AIP, artificial intelligence platform, empowering organizations to activate large language models. Is going to be very much integrated within their current ecosystem with Ontology, Foundry, and other LLMs as well. And again, government revenue up 20%, commercial revenue up 15%, total revenue up 18% to $525 million, and the average trailing 12-month revenue per top 20 customer also growing to $51 million, up 14% year over year. Customer count, commercial basis, 280, and total customer count, 41% year over year to 391. Total contract value at almost $400 million, 60% increase, in billings also increasing 25% to $614 million. And again, sitting on $2.9 billion of cash with literally no debt. And as of March 31st, they also had $950 million of available credit facilities, which are still undrawn. So they're really not using any operating credit, and they're also not using any long-term debt to finance their operations. How are they actually running their company? It's God knows. But they do also have free cash flow, so that might be one of the reasons how they're able to run their company at the moment with no debt. And that's the thing with companies that have no debt and a lot of cash, right? They can't go bankrupt. You literally can't go under, right? Think about it as a person, right? If a person has all assets and literally no debt, they can't go bankrupt, right? Because of the fact that they have no debt, they have no financial obligation. That's one thing that Peter Lynch also talks about. So it doesn't matter if Palantir trades at $4 or $8 or $20. It's a company that has more cash than debt on the balance sheet. So it literally cannot go under. The real question then becomes, is the valuation. It becomes a question of the growth, the future growth, the profitability. Those become more relevant questions than as opposed to the balance sheet and do they have the money to survive. That's the difference between, you know, a company like Palantir or maybe a company like Tattooed Chef, right, which may not have the cash to survive even the next few months. And if they don't, that's it. They're done. They got to lock up. They got to shut down. So survival is really important. And that was actually taught in the book Psychology of Money. There's a whole chapter dedicated to survival because capitalism is hard. And what Morgan Housel is talking about in that book is that most businesses fail. Most businesses fail because survival is hard. If there is, you know, something that generates a high return on capital, if it's very lucrative, competition eventually will come in. But because Palantir's got a, you know, whole different niche, it's got a little bit more of a technological advanced, you know, IP, and you know, it's got patents, it's got very, very specific things that it's doing. It's not that easy to compete in, and the fact that it's got lots of cash, the survival rate's high, so they can survive in this market for longer until the odds, of course, fall in their favor and they're able to capitalize on those opportunities. So, you know, very nice quarter, and they are suggesting for another $528 to $532 million quarter with about $118 to $122 million in adjustable operating income. And for the entire fiscal year 23, over $2.18 and $2.2 billion in adjusted net income or adjusted income from operations, $506 to $556 million. And GAAP net income each quarter is what they're also guiding for in the entire year. So overall, I would say this was a very, very good quarter numbers. And finally, the most important thing was profitability, and the company is guiding for that. And the share price jumped to almost $10 after hours. I will be looking at this resistance here going into tomorrow. So you can see that we have gotten rejected here at this price back in February. So last time when Palantir reported earnings, it had a very similar price action, right? So it ended up rallying over 38%, literally got up to this resistance at 1031 and then started selling off. So this right here is going to be that resistance again. We're going to turn this level into a support, and I will be looking at selling covered calls tomorrow, absolutely, for Palantir. So that's something that I will be doing. I will be selling covered calls for Palantir at you know, different strikes, which I will share in our Discord later. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. My fair value doesn't change. You know, it's still going to be closer to $5-6, but still very strong numbers coming in. And price to sales now is going to be a little bit higher. Price to earnings is going to be a little bit higher considering that 22% rally that we're seeing after hours. But resistance is going to be at $10 all the way up to as much as $12. So those right there are going to be a couple of resistances to watch for Palantir. Support level is going to be at $8.65. And of course, we got another support down to $6 for Palantir as well. My plan is to really be selling some covered calls tomorrow after the market opens, and the call premiums are going to be definitely a lot higher because of the fact that it's up 22%. So again, hope you guys enjoyed this video and find it helpful. If you did, make sure that you drop a like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're just joining us for the first time. The link to our Discord and Patreon is going to be down below if you're interested in joining, and of course getting access to all the buy and sell alerts, options alerts, trade ideas, everything that I'm doing that's going to be available. And of course our private live streams Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and the private videos as well. As always, happy investing. I'll see you all in the next video.